Welcome to the first afternoon, wet and raining, of Dig Village. What we're trying to do is see, with Stuart and Danny and Paul and some of the Time Team regulars, how much we can find out about a village like this in about a day and a bit. And it's a sort of trial run at seeing what we can get from some really basic techniques. Putting trial test bits in, trying to date the buildings if we can, and seeing if we can find a critical building in the middle, and that's real detective work. There used to be a Benedictine cloister in the middle of Dunster, and we're going to be looking under the fields around the church using geophysics. Emma's out there now in the wet and the rain, still going away. Dave, can you get Emma a cup of tea or something, or coffee, and if she's looking blue, cheer her up a bit. So we've got the geophysicist out there in the field. Can we find the remains of the cloister? And in one of the books that Stuart's got here, there's a reference to a document that refers to material being taken away from a cloister. This has been a place where a small group of monks lived within that cloister. It was almost their whole life in there, and we're going to see if we can find traces of it. Stuart's very important in this because of that idea of a kind of village overview and strategy. What's your sense of Dunster? You popped in and had a chance to look around. Have you got a sort of feel for, a little bit of a feel for the village?
Yeah, a little bit of a feel in that there's a very... The layout of the medieval town is obviously very much influenced by the big tor on which the castle sits. And what's interesting is where the routeways all have to go round the big hill. Yeah. So what we need to look at is how the routeways have influenced where building plots would be, where the priory would be, how, when the plant town was placed here, how they had to react to the castle. And so it's an interaction between lots of things, but the key to me, in the first overview I've had of it, is the routeways, where the roads go, looking alongside those roads to try and focus in what might be the early bits, or what might be the bits that Normans planted when they created new settlement here.
And one of the things we're doing these test bits, and there's a lot of small finds tend to come out, and it's one of the reasons we've got Danny with us. And Danny, when you've done test bits before, what sort of material can come out of them, and what do you end up having to do? You're the FLO officer for Devon.
Yeah,
bit out of your patch.
For Devon. Slightly out of my patch in
yeah.
North Somerset, or West Somerset here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anything could come up. You never know. That's the exciting thing with archaeology. But I'm guessing that we're probably going to get a fair amount, hopefully, of medieval pottery, maybe even some earlier stuff, maybe some Norman stuff. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It might even be earlier than that. You never know.
Yes, Anglo-Saxon stuff. No, that'd be fascinating.
And there is one particular thing that, as usually happens when we land in these villages, various members of the local village come out and say to us, well, it's interesting, you know, I've had this on my mantelpiece for years, and my grandmother gave it me or something, and it turns out that one particular person we're going to be talking to was given what might be a really very interesting, what would we call it, object for now, and we're going to be having a look at that sometime tomorrow. And we've got about a day and a bit to do it.